Hey, welcome to Real Talk. Thanks for joining us. We just started these videos and podcasts, and we're super glad that you're taking the time to watch. We'd love to hear your feedback. So shoot us an email, or you can comment on the video just below in the comment section. So we're in this series going through John. And one of the things that keeps happening in the Gospels is Jesus will just disappear for a little while, and he'll just go and be alone. And it's sort of foreign for us as human beings to be alone. That's kind of a scary thought. There's this television show that I like. It's called Alone. And they take people and they put them out in the wilderness by themselves, and they have to survive. And these are wilderness experts. They're not just like randomly feeding people to bears. They know what they're doing. But you quickly find out and are reminded that humans just really aren't meant to be alone. And yet Jesus takes time to go and be alone. And he shows us how to do that. So John chapter 6 is the example that we're going to look at. And I would encourage you to go back and read the beginning of John 6, because Jesus just got done doing this amazing thing where he feeds like 20,000 people. And he gets a little bit of food, and he takes out his filet of fish sandwich, and he gets some French fries, and somehow with just a Happy Meal, he feeds an entire crowd, and it's awesome. And you're going to want to see it. But right after that, he goes and takes this time to be alone, and I want to look at that. Here's what's important, is that you see what this is not. This is not Jesus just focusing on himself doing me time. There's this thing in our culture right now called self-care, and it's basically what it sounds like. It's focusing all on myself. So like, okay, today, you know what, I really need a nap. And I really need to read a book. And if I had a spa day, it would be a great day. And just, some chocolates, that would be awesome. That is not what Jesus is doing. Like, we all need some me time. I'm kind of weird. I like to go to restaurants and just eat by myself. I don't know if that's strange, if that's a little creepy, but I like to do that. That's my alone time. That's not what Jesus is doing. Let me show you what he's doing. John 6, verse 14 is where we're looking. And it says, after the people saw the sign that Jesus performed, that was feeding the crowd, they began to say, surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world. Jesus, knowing that they intended to come and make him king by force, withdrew again to a mountain by himself. I think we always equate being alone with something negative. It's like when you're a kid. What do your parents say? Go to your room. Alone. You're grounded. Alone. Go have a timeout. Alone. And so it becomes this negative thing for us. But there's a reason that Jesus wanted to be alone. And it's because even when he was alone, he wasn't really alone. He was spending time with his Father. See, it wasn't about Jesus getting away from people. It was about being with God and having that time of quietness and stillness and silence. See, silence is connected to trust and intimacy. Like, think of a first date. Someone has to be talking the whole time, right? Silence is super awkward. Watch, I'll show you. Right? Weird. Fast forward, you've been married for 20 years or something. You could sit there for like a half hour, you could have dinner together, and no one talks, and it's okay. Because silence is connected with trust and intimacy. Now, I've always thought about this, like, why does Jesus need to connect or reconnect with God? Like, he's the Son of God. Does he ever feel disconnected from God? Does he have days where he kind of feels separate or tired in his relationship with God? Well, of course, we know Jesus is fully God, but we have to remember that he's also fully man. And he just had this experience with like thousands of people in this crowd, and he's tired and he needs to recharge. But it's not about being alone. It's not about self-care. It's about connecting with God. You and I, we need that same time. We need that same opportunity to connect with God. So, like, what is this like? I want to have some time to connect with God. Is it like I go sit on a mountainside and I kind of go into a trance? No, it's not that at all. It's not a mountaintop experience. In fact, oftentimes spending that time with God, with Jesus, is kind of boring. It's simple. It's like every other relationship. Not every minute of it is going to be just exhilarating. So how do you do it? Because you're like, I don't have time to go to some retreat center, right? Well, there's lots of different things you can do. My suggestion is whatever helps you focus on Jesus. Maybe it's read your Bible and then just listen. Maybe for you, it's like a song lyric that's been drawing you back to God. Maybe it's a book that you're reading that draws you back to God. I have this verse that's been floating around in my head. In Exodus, God tells Moses his name, and he says, "This is my name forever." And like that's just been ping-ponging around in my head, and God has been showing me all that means, and I love that. So whatever it is for you that helps you connect back to God. Now, where do you do it, right? Well, it's often those still, quiet, but simple moments that are the most meaningful. While you're getting ready in the morning, or you're drinking your coffee, while you're on your daily commute, turn talk radio off. It's just making you mad anyways. While you're eating lunch, after you put the kids to bed, set an appointment so that you have that time. Just like you set aside time for everything else, set that appointment to be alone, recharge with God. I don't know if you're ever still or quiet, but it's in those moments, in that silence, where you find out that God's silence speaks to you as loud as thunder. And it's in that place that He wants to transform each one of us. Now, let me say one more thing. Dads, especially if you have like small kids, look, every once in a while, you got to take the kids and lock them in a closet or do something with them. I don't know, just take them, get them away, give mom a break. She needs it. She needs that time to spend with God. Trust me, it'll be good for everyone. Young people, millennials, I know we pick on you. You gotta put your phone down sometimes. Not right now, you're listening to me right now, but sometime later, you gotta put your phone down. And I know it's just how you grew up. You were attached to that thing when you came out of the womb, but you gotta put it down so that you can spend time with God. To my more mature, seasoned friends, you might say, well, I'm alone all the time. Remember that being alone is different than being alone with Jesus. Those are two different things. Find that time where you're going to go, I'm here, I'm alone with Jesus. But for all of us, are you ever just alone? Are you ever just quiet and still? God is waiting to spend that time with you. See you next time. Millennials, you can put your phone down now.